All right, y'all. Hey, how's it going? And it shows that we are on here. I am live. I am excited to see you and talk about this topic today. Before we get into it, just let me know who is joining and watching today and ready to get into it, where you watching from. You guys know that I'm obsessed with the weather right now, and I know that I have some family that's dealing with some interesting weather. And so you can also drop down there and tell me what the weather is like for you and what's going on. The weather is always doing things here. I had talked to someone recently and they said, with Savannah, you go outside and the weather is one way, go back inside, give it about 15 minutes, and then it's going to change. And I think that's about true because that's what's been happening here lately. These past few days, it's been a little nippy, kind of cool. And then today we are looking like we're probably going to hit around the 70s. So it's like light jacket, and you go outside, it's a little rainy and a little drizzly, and then you go back out there and then it's sunshiny and it's like, okay, like let's just figure this thing out. So let me know, where are you watching from? You can also drop down and tell me, what your weather is like, because I always like to build this community. I want to interact with you guys. If you have questions anytime when I'm talking, you're like, hey, hold up, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Then just drop it. Let me know, or you have another question about it to add on to it. Perfectly fine. I am here for you to serve you, to answer any questions that you may have. So don't be shy. But if you don't want to put your question out there right then and there, you can always like DM me, send me a message, and then I will take care of you there, because I want to make sure that your questions are answered. I am coming up with all this information because I have a lot of patients and a lot of people that I meet who are asking me these questions. And I know if they are asking it, then you guys probably have the same question. So I want to make sure that your questions get answered so that you can make the best decision and what makes the best sense for you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. The one topic that has continued to come up with me recently is self care. Everybody's talking about self care. And when people talk about it, then they talk about, I want to know about healthcare. Hi, Katie. Good to see you. Glad to see that Forest City is in the house today. Thank you so much for tuning in. But when I talk about this whole self care thing, I am also thinking about healthcare, because healthcare is truly essential. So, we're going to talk about healthcare is self care and the benefits of having a primary care doctor. So, what exactly is self care? Self care is whatever you want it to be. Everybody is talking about that lately. They're saying, I am doing this, I am doing that, because it looks different for a lot of different people. Whatever that thing is for you, then that's what makes sense for you. I've had people say, massages or mani petty me time. Listen, I just need to de-stress and take some time away for myself. Exercising, drinking water, whatever self-care is for you, that's for you. And the whole point of it is people want to just make sure that they are taking care of themselves. They are taking time to do something for themselves. So I'm all for it and I'm here for it. But then I ask the additional question. I say, okay, you take care of yourself, you're doing the self care. Do you have a primary care doctor in that routine? And people like say, what now? And they look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, what does self care and health care or primary care have to do with anything? And it's very essential. One of the reasons that I bring this up is because with healthcare, people say, I don't know, like, they say that they're well. A lot of people tell me, I'm well, I feel good, I'm good. But my thing is, when you put healthcare in that equation, are you truly well? How do you know? How do you know that you are doing okay? And the only way for you to truly find that out is to go to your doctor. Now, I have heard from a lot of you guys why you don't go. There's several reasons. One of them, I feel good, I feel well, I'm fine, I don't need to go. Why do I need to go? The other one is, only sick people go to the doctor. I'm not sick, so I don't need to go. Right? And then the third one that I get is people say, well, I don't want to go because you guys always find something. And I'm tired of people, you guys finding stuff, telling me something's wrong or whatever. So that's the other reason why I don't go. Those are all valid concerns. But let's just break them down and just get to the real root of it and talk about it. The one of I'm well and I'm fine. How do you know? How do you truly know that you're fine and you're well? You're walking around and you feel fine and well, but you don't have anything to base that on except for like what's going on externally, right? I'm able to get up, I'm able to do the things, I don't have any problems. However, something could be going on inside and you have no idea. And I always like to use the car analogy, right? Because our cars tell us a lot. Our cars are they're gonna smoke, we're gonna see something, we're gonna hear something because it start making this noise. People go to my daddy all the time and say, it's doing this, rah, 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 rah," and he's like, okay. So but it's gonna do something, it's gonna make a noise. And sometimes you can diagnose things off of a noise and you say, oh yeah, that sounds like the so and so, that sounds like blah blah blah. But it's gonna talk to you, right? The other thing is, if it doesn't do that and your car seems well, the other thing that it has is these indicators. We have those lights on our dashboard and they're there for a reason and they tell us what's going on. And if we don't pay attention to it, then that's on us. But sometimes your car could be doing totally fine until you start seeing those indicators that say, oh, it's not fine. It didn't smoke, it didn't make a sound, it didn't do the things. And the way I know this is because this happened to me like very recently. Drove my car, felt like my car was fine. I didn't hear the things. It wasn't pulling to the right, to the left, wasn't doing anything weird. Then the next day I get in my car and it's talking to me. All the lights on the dashboard start coming up, talking about check engine. I said, excuse me, why do I need to check my engine? I think my engine is fine. I've been doing the things. I, make sure that the wheels are rotated and I do my tune-ups and all these things. It's got gas in it, it has oil. So why did my check engine light come on? Like I'm trying to figure this thing out. And then there was some other little thing that popped up. I said, I don't even know what that means. I had to like look it up, pull out my manual and figure out what that was. But it had an indicator. Now, mind you, our car was fine. I didn't have any of the other signals. And that's what the thing is when people say I only go when I'm sick. Because, but the thing is, that's when your car truly is sick because it has like now it started making the noise and it's doing the things. But we have these indicators that tell us, okay, it's doing something behind the scenes that you may not even know about, and you need to take care of it. And for us, those are labs. So, in order for us to truly know if you're okay, we need to get those labs and look at them and see what's going on. For people who say, well, I only go because I'm sick, I get it. But the problem is you kind of cheat yourself when you do that because you're only when you go, you're not feeling well. So your objective is focus. I want to get well. I want to get well today. And who's going to fix it and make it better? I'm the same way. Now I'm nice, but I'm not as nice as I could be when I'm well, right? So I'm like, okay, we need to get this fixed and get it fixed like yesterday. And a lot of patients come in with that same attitude. And I don't fault them for it. I get it. Like, I don't want to chit chat about all the things. I'll be nice and I'll talk to you about a few little things. But can you just really tell me why I'm feeling this way and what you're going to do about it to help me feel better? I get it. But that shouldn't be the extent of your visits. You should be going to them when you are well, because when you're well, you get a chance to talk to them about things that are true concern to you, some other things that may be happening here and there that you can't quite make sense of. You may have some questions about your family history. Am I going to be at risk for this? Is this going to happen to me? What can I do to prevent it? All of those things. So you want to make sure that you don't cheat yourself by only going when you're sick, because I love to see people when they're sick and take care of them, make sure that they're well. I'm like, that's great. They're feeling good. But I also like to see people when you are well because I want to keep you there and I want to prevent you from getting sick. Okay. The other one is when people say, you guys always find something. I have people say, I hate going to the doctor. And I'm like, why? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do anything to you. And they said, well, because you always find something. Now listen, if you go and you are keeping up and then somebody's always like finding the things, I get it. But again, we are just the messenger. I didn't make those labs up. I didn't put those things there. My job is to inform you about what's going on and let you know what we can do about it, right? But if you are somebody who hasn't been to the doctor, because I get this, people come in, I haven't been to the doctor in 30, 40 years, like feel like that is like a bragging right. I haven't been in like 30 years. I haven't been. And then when we find things and they say, the doctor always telling me something wrong. Well, listen, now, again, we didn't do this. We didn't do this. And it's going back to the car analogy. Now, you wouldn't just ride your car that long all that time without getting it checked out, at least here and there. You should still do the same thing for yourself. Respect yourself, respect your body, because you only get one of them. So we are not trying to make things up. We are not trying to find all the things on you. We are at least trying to get the basics. We're trying to get a baseline to see where you are and how we can help you reach your goals, whatever that is. So now that we know kind of some of those issues and those hangups that people have about going to the doctor, let me help you to some of the benefits. There are actually some great benefits of establishing a primary care doctor. Studies have shown time and time again that when you see a primary care doctor, you not only live longer, but then you can have a better quality of life. And there are several reasons that. One is because you get a chance to develop a relationship. Do you have a relationship with your doctor? Relationship is important because this is someone who, again, is trying to keep you well, trying to make you or help you reach those health goals that you have in mind. Because when I have a relationship with a patient, especially with a patient that I met when they were well, when they come in and they are not so well, I can see it. For instance, I had a patient to come in and we were following up on some things that we have been tracking, trying to get it under control, make it under control. And that is what that appointment said that it was for. When they showed up and I walked into the room, I could already tell that this is not what this appointment is going to be about. They didn't tell my nurse that that is what was going on and that they had something else to talk to me about. But because I had a relationship with them, I could just tell by the way that person was sitting in the seat and how they had kind of slumped over and how they were holding their head and stuff like that. I was like, something's not right. So I said, listen, I feel like something is going on with you today. And if you want to talk about it, you can, and you feel free to share, and I can see what I can do to help. And we can go from there. Like, would you like to do that? And they were like, yes. And then they told me what happened. Because again, at the end of the day, whatever is on in your life is ultimately going to affect your health. What is going on in your life is going to ultimately affect your health. So you need to develop a really good relationship with your doctor so that they can come up with a plan that makes the most sense for you, no matter what stage of life that you're in. The other thing that we do a really good job at is prevention. Remember, I talked about we need to get those labs and follow up on the things. That is because if we catch things early, you do so much better. If you say, I haven't been to anybody in so long and so many years, then these things could be brutal times by the time you present themselves, it has progressed to a place that we don't want it to be. And it takes a lot more to get it under control. So you want to make sure that you go and see them so that they can stay on track. Mammogram, colonoscopy, PSAs, and also doing your labs. So all of those things play a role in you are well, and that again helps with your longevity. The other thing is what we call coordination of care. That is basically saying, I help you get to someone else if you need to go to them. With primary care, we are able to take care of a lot of things. People don't understand how much we can do, like, especially family medicine. We can see from itty bitty babies all the way to the elderly. So we're able and we're trained to be able to take care of a lot of different diseases and concerns that you may have. But again, we reach our limit. And sometimes we say, you know what? There's someone else who is more specialized in this, and they can take this, what I've done so far, and help you get even further treatment, get better treatment, things of that nature. But you come to us, we get some of the puzzle figured out, and then we send you to someone else so that they can do that. Our job is to be able to contact that person so that you can get in. Now, this is the beauty of it because not only do we what they call coordinate care, basically just helping you get to the next person, we advocate. And when I coordinate, I also advocate. And this is what I mean. What I had recently was a patient come to me, had some concerns, and I was like, yeah, that is concerning. Let's do some workup. Let's see if we can figure this out. Then the information that I had gotten, then it told me, you know what? This is the person I need to send you to. And because I'm so concerned, I'm actually going to get on the phone and call them and say, hey, I'm concerned about this person. Can you help me out? And then they say, you know what, that is concerning. Let me see what I can do. Let me look at my schedule and see how soon I can get them in. And they went ahead and got them in. And they got them in pretty quickly. But it's because I had the relationship with that specialist that I could contact them and say, this is my concern. What can you do to try to help us get them in? And I do that quite frequently. Now, there are some patients that I say, you know what? We do need to follow this up. We do need to get this checked out. I put in the referral and then they get in when they can get in because it's not urgent. And then we also make sure that they have an appointment. So we follow up with it to make sure they don't fall through the cracks. But if there's someone that is really of concern, and I was like, I need you to be seen sooner rather than later, I'm getting on the phone and I'm talking to the people, and your other primary doctors are doing the same thing because we want to make sure that you are getting the level of care that you need. So that's what's really important. The other thing of advocacy and advocating for you is supporting you in what your healthcare goals are. So, if you have some things that you want to achieve and you say, I want to do this, I want to do that, then we're going to figure out how we can get you there. How to make sure, okay, these are the things that you need to eat. These are the things that you need to avoid. How can I help you with this? I have patients that want to lose weight. Okay. Well, these are your goals. These are some realistic goals. This is what we should be looking at. These are the things that we need to think about eating. Have some people that want to quit smoking. Okay, let's figure out your why. Let's figure out how we're going to also use that to incorporate how we're going to be able to start tapering off. All of these different things to figure out how we can get you where you need to be. It's also helping people. Let's say I send someone to a specialist and they still don't know what to say. They just like, I don't like for my patients to go somewhere and just be like, well, Dr. Booth sent me over here. I'm like, no, because when I send you there, I want you to know why I sent you over there. And when you go over there, I want you to get some information so that you can bring it back to me. Because another thing that you guys may not know is that our electronic systems do not communicate with each other all the time. If you are not staying within a big major medical system, you go to a doctor that's outside of that, you may not be able to, your doctor may not get that information, or if they do, it may take a while before they get it. So, this is another point that I want you guys to think about. Hey, Teamer, J Teamer, good to see you. But this is one of the things I want you guys to think about is when you go to your doctor, one, you need to make sure that you know why you're going, especially if you're going to a specialist. But then when you go over there, understand what they're telling you. Because I send some people and I say, okay, what they say? Oh, I don't know. Or I thought you got the note. And I'm like, no, a lot of times they may not send it to me as quickly as I get you back in my office to see me. I need to know what the plan is. Did they start you on a new medicine? How did they tell you to take it? Like all of these different things so I can stay in the loop because some people have just kind of simmered us down to coughs and colds. Primary care is not just coughs and colds. If you get the right primary care doctor, that doctor is going to make sure that they do all of these things that I just talked about with you to make sure that you are well overall so that you can get what you need. So I've talked about like self-care and how self-care is healthcare. And I hope you guys are able to kind of see those connections of self-care and how when you are practicing it, I want for you to be able to implement in there some healthcare, put it in your routine, have a doctor's appointment at least once a year, at least get your annual physical. If you have insurance, your insurance will be able to take care of that. And they usually grant you at least one physical a year. And you're able to go see the doctor, get some basic labs to just figure out what your baseline is. If there's some things that are abnormal on there, make sure that you follow up, have the discussion with your doctor. What does this mean? What is going on? When I see my patients, we draw the labs. And then I don't just say everything was normal. I bring you back in. I say, okay, I drew this lab because of this, and this lab, I drew it because of this, and this is what this means. So I walk them through it so they'll know exactly what this means, what's going on. So when you go and see someone else, if we have to see a specialist or anything, you at least have a working idea of what we're dealing with. So incorporate healthcare into your self-care because you want to be well overall. Make sure that you understand and get the full benefits of primary care. You want to make sure that you understand that we are here for you. You want to develop a relationship with them. Know that we are here to help prevent diseases, that we can coordinate care for you and get you connected to the right people. And while I'm on that for just a second, I also want to say it's good to have a primary too, because I've had some patients that will self diagnose and then they will call a specialist office and try to get in. Some specialists will let them go ahead and come in. And they'll say, yeah, sure. And then they get there and they realize they're in the wrong office because they've diagnosed themselves with the wrong thing. If you have a good relationship with your primary doctor, when you talk to them about what your issues are, then they should be able to figure out who's the right person. The person that you're thinking of may make sense, or they may ask you some more questions and say, this person is not the person right now. I want you to see them first as a person who's, and then we will go to other ways. Okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. But especially when you're trying to self-diagnose and go somewhere on your own, you need to cut out the primary first, advocate for you. My whole thing that I absolutely love doing for my patients is advocating for them, letting them know where to go, when to go, what to say, and then being able to have the discussions with them. On all of my social media at MD, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, so you can find me there. Also, can watch me on YouTube. I'm bringing you the live content every week. So that way you can stay in touch with what's really important and what's going on in the health news area so that you can be well. And then share this with other people because I know for a fact all of us are going to have to come in contact with the healthcare system one way or the other. At some point, we're going to have to be in the healthcare system. And so everybody can benefit from learning how we can get quality healthcare, how to get the benefits from our primary care doctors. So make sure that you share this with everybody because everyone can benefit. Like, love, follow, all the things because I want to make sure that I'm getting the information to you. Again, if you have questions related to this or anything in general with health, be sure to let me know and send it my way. And I'll do my best to come up with that information myself or find someone because I've been bringing on guest speakers. And that's how I've had a lot of these guest speakers because there are things that I'm interested in. I'm like, I learned something that's new. I get to talking to somebody else like, oh, I didn't know that. Or I have patients that are really interested in certain topics. And then I find someone who can do that. I want to you guys, and I really appreciate you the inside scoop, and that is my whole point is to get the inside scoop to you. So take care, have a lovely day, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.